Hello and welcome to another edition of For the Record. I'm Sean Murphy. My guest today is Ann Orsini. She's the Executive Director of Central Regional Tourism District, and more specifically, centerofct.com is the website, because folks from Rhode Island will be watching this show today. We want to let them know it's from Connecticut. Ann, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
First time on the show. We're going to talk tourism today, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Central Regional Tourism. One thing that we should start off with is when we're talking Connecticut, it's actually broken into a few different parts as far as regionalism is concerned, right?
It is.
Or tourism, I should say.
Yes, we have the overall State Office of Tourism that does the big picture stuff, but then there's 3 regional offices, one from the western part of our state, I'm from the central, and then we have an eastern office as well.
It was interesting to me when we were talking off the air. At one point, it was really chopped up into a lot of different, sections, and it certainly makes more sense now than it did in those, much more smaller tourism type things. And this works for you, just covering like the central part, right?
Yeah, it does. One thing that, I will say about our state, even within my own central region, we have such a diverse product for a teeny little state. It's mind-boggling. I continue to learn new things. Every now and again, new things pop up that I can't believe.
Can you imagine a state like a Texas or a California or something like that? You know what I mean? That really would need to be chopped up, to cover.
Absolutely. And that's one thing that's to our advantage is we're not a Texas. So people can easily get around within our state, or if you even want to hop to our fellow New England neighbors, we're very easy to access.
It's all driving distance, isn't it? And that's key.
It is driving. We're in a perfect location between New York and Boston. Often we'll catch people that are just en route to A to B, and then usually when they're going through, they realize, wow, there's a lot to do here.
That's an advantage, isn't it? To be halfway between New York and Boston. To maybe they didn't plan it, but it's a stopping over point. It's a discovery kind of a thing. Oh, hey, one of those deals, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. We, just whether you're just on 95 traveling through 84, 91, but also with the motor coach groups, the big sightseeing tour buses that are hitting New York and going to Boston. Usually they need a halfway point, whether it be to use the restroom, to have a nice meal. But once they stop, they learn that, wow, maybe we should spend a little bit more time here next.
Do people understand really what tourism is? What's a basic definition of it?
Tourism, we have so much of it right here, but I don't think we always realize it is tourism. You ask someone from Connecticut what there is to do, they'll say, oh, we don't have anything to do here.
God, that's so wrong.
Yeah. I think we just take it for granted. But when you travel to other parts, you compare, like, wow, I can, go to a world-class museum and go to theater, and I can jump off a cliff, all within a half-hour drive.
Land safely, right?
That's the goal, at least.
I did some skydiving, and I was concerned about that myself. So you mentioned it. So let's get a little bit more specific about, we understand what tourism is. We love Connecticut. Even if you're from Rhode Island, just for a visit, what specifically? Give me some ideas, some things to do, just in your part of the state alone.
Just in our part alone. We cover the greater Hartford region, the River Valley, and the greater New Haven region. 3 unique destinations, and a way to help navigate your way around is we have produced 2 visitors guides to help you. This is the Greater Hartford River Valley Guide, and this is the Greater New Haven, which covers the shoreline as well. And these are great, in this day and age with the internet and everything's available right at your fingertips, which, I love researching a trip online. But I'll tell you what, these booklets, we get them out, we go through them like this. People love the handheld piece that you can really just take a look and see what there is within the region.
I got to tell you, you're right there. Well, my co-host on a radio show I do in the morning, she would prefer a newspaper over the internet. She would prefer a magazine over the internet, just to be able to touch it, to open it up, and to just you kind of get it's the experience that you have with it. You know,
It is.
It paints a
know,
better picture for
It
you.
does. You can look at the pictures, but also I know when I don't know an area what there is to do, I don't necessarily know what I'm looking for.
Right.
I know what my interests are, but
How do you take it? How do you find out from there? You know what I mean?
yeah.
You need some help. You need that next step.
Absolutely. So we do have these visitor guides that we produce, and it just breaks down town by town and what the top tourism attractions are, as well as restaurants and accommodations.
There's a lot of restaurants in Connecticut, isn't there?
There certainly
Yeah.
are. There
Some
certainly
famous ones
are.
too. Things that get national recognition. You know, whether it's a pizza shop or a seafood place or something like that.
Oh, I know. And one way that we celebrate our food is we've created a trail, a burger and brew trail.
Ooh.
And New Haven takes claim that they were the birthplace of the hamburger sandwich.
That's right. Yeah.
So we put together, this it's just a variety of different types of burgers, and little did
I'd like to try them all.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know. And little did I know that in central Connecticut, we are known for our steamed cheeseburger.
Ah, okay.
You really can't find it in other parts of the country.
I'm not even sure if a steamed cheeseburger as opposed to on the grill or the way you would normally eat one.
Yeah,
You know?
it's I tried it. It's amazing. It really locks the moisture in.
My director just gave me the thumbs up on the steamed burgers, so it must be good.
Oh,
He's a
it's
connoisseur
amazing.
of fine burgers.
It's amazing. It really is. And another thing that complements the burger very well is a nice ice cold beer. And we have so
that complements
many
many
breweries.
things well.
But we have so many breweries. The Connecticut Beer Trail has really taken off.
That's very popular to do, isn't it? To do the tour, the trail, and experience different, you know what I mean, just as part of it. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And the Connecticut Brewers group, they even do bus tours. So you can go to their website and they'll post what breweries they're hitting, and you can get your spot on the bus and spend the day doing that.
You've just interested so many people that were watching when you mentioned burgers and beer, and that's just a small little tiny segment. But that is throughout Connecticut and throughout the central part of Connecticut.
It is.
You can experience it, you know?
Yeah, and then if you're really into food, you have to go to New Haven.
Right.
And
Famous pizza there, right?
famous pizza, you have the burger, any type of cuisine you want, it's there. And there are food tours. They're called Taste of New Haven Food and Drink Tours. You get your own little group, you get your own personal tour guide, and it's 4 hours long, and you pick which tour you want. And your guide will take you around and not only introduce you to some great restaurants, good food, good drinks, but it's a walking tour, so you're learning about the history of New Haven as you go. I highly recommend one of those tours.
Excellent. Food tour is definitely on the list, but there's so much more. We could just jump in any direction. Museums, seafaring stuff, trains, sports activities, whatever you want to pick. Let's talk about something else.
Sure. If you're into gardens, we have many different gardens that you can visit. Farmers markets,
Love those. Lots of them around.
Yes.
And lots of little small ones in various towns throughout the state.
There are. We have so many nice ones. Some are larger than others, but depending on what you're looking for. And like you're saying, there is so much. We could just bounce around all over. That's why we try to put little themes together.
Right.
This is the gardens and farmers markets. We have, believe it or not, numerous bed and breakfasts. Beautiful bed and breakfasts and inns.
That would be that's a good staycation, right? Even if you're in Connecticut, or if you're, in Rhode Island or somewhere else, you kind of just drive over the border, and it's not really getting on a plane or anything. It's just staying in the area, right?
It is, and there's a lot of beautiful places you can stay where you feel like you've completely detached and you're so far away from reality. But then, within a few minutes, you can be going out to dinner in New Haven or Middletown, wherever you choose. And they also just created a bed and breakfast biking tour. So you can, if you're a bike enthusiast, you can bike from one bed and breakfast to the next, and they'll even take your luggage for you, so you don't have to worry about.
Another
Getting it
great thing
there.
is the way it's set up, just in your region alone, you can get a little taste of the city Hartford, and you can get a little taste of as far away from the city as possible in some woodland area if you prefer, because you've got it all.
Yes, we really do. And that's what's so unique about Connecticut is there's so many great communities and small towns where you can go and have your quintessential New England experience with the town green. Like the town of Guilford, for example, they have different craft fairs and festivals right in their green, and you can spend the day, dining and shopping, and even taking a Segway tour. They offer. And you forget that you're just within a few minutes of the shoreline, where you can utilize the natural beauty, or then you can turn in another direction and go into the city for dinner.
It's so funny that you mentioned Guilford, because we just did a show on their big craft expo that they do every year, and it's such a big deal there. And that's just one example of whether you live in the area or visiting, experience that. Experience a craft expo on a town green. It's something that you can spend all day doing, because those kinds of events have, the crafts and the merchandise, but food and entertainment, and that's an example of what you're going to get in all these towns throughout the state, even in the especially in the middle of the summer.
Yes, and I should note that a lot of these events you can find on our website. It's kind of a central hub. It's centerofct.com.
What's on the website? Because we're going to go to a break in a minute here, but since you mentioned the website, and we'll put a graphic up on the screen too, when they go to the website, it must be filled massively with all kinds of places to go and events. Talk about that a little bit.
Yes, our website is a great resource. We have a calendar of events. That's probably our most popular, one of our most popular spots on our website, just to find out what there is going on. It's updated regularly. So if you want to plan far in advance or looking for a last-minute thing to do, it's a great calendar. We also have a listing of museums, hotels, restaurants, and we even have our own web series where there's short little video clips that if you don't want to look at a picture in a book, but you really want a taste of what the tour will be like, or just
the webisodes,
how it goes.
Right?
Yep.
Well, let's get into that a little bit more. We'll take a break and come back, because that interests me a lot. Ann Orsini, the Executive Director of Central Regional Tourism District. I'm Sean Murphy. This is For the Record. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to For the Record. I'm Sean Murphy. Ann Orsini is the Executive Director of Central Regional Tourism District. It's centerofct.com. But if you're right across the border in Rhode Island, lots to do and see and experience here in Connecticut. By the way, as Executive Director, what is your role? What do you do? What are your day-to-day duties in that capacity?
Well, I kind of wear many hats. We're a very small staff. So, we do things like this where we love to come out and share with people all the fun things we have to do. We do a lot of marketing. We create, pieces like the visitor guide and trail brochures and coloring books. I don't draw the illustrations myself.
Oh,
you're
throwing your disclaimer on here.
Yeah. But so we're the brains behind a lot of these things we produce. But we also, there's a lot of behind-the-scenes things we do to try to encourage visitation to the state, where we go outside of Connecticut and we go all over the country to different trade shows and conventions where we meet with tour operators that plan trips. We sit down and talk with people and just share about what we have to offer.
Because Connecticut people already know about it. It's no secret to them. It's the people that are outside this area that you want to attract here and have them experience it, right?
Absolutely. But, you'd be amazed how many local people call our office as well.
Unaware of some of the things?
Yeah, unaware. They have family coming into town and they don't know what to do with them. And that's something else we really like to talk to people that are interested in coming. Give us a call at our office. We love customizing tours and giving new ideas. And that's kind of one of my favorite things about the job is working with people. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned that they can call. Why don't you give out the phone number? So
Sure.
people can
Our
call.
phone number is 860-787-9640. We're based in Hartford, but like I said, we promote quite a large region. So.
You know, you talked about these beautiful brochures that you have there, beautiful color brochures, and there are a lot of people that do like to thumb through them. But it's a fact of life that we are in a world of internet and the web and Wi-Fi, and people are on their cell phones on the internet as much as anything else now. So you do have, we talked about the website and everything that's on it going into the break. So you do provide people things like your webisodes that you were talking about, and we kind of got into that a little bit as we were going into the break. So talk about them a little bit more. They're very popular, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the webisodes, they're just a different way to bring to life the product that we're trying to promote. I know often, you know, if I see a video on a website, I like to get a sneak peek of what to expect before I go. Say you've never taken a Thimble Island cruise in Brantford. You may not have ever even heard about it. One of our episodes, we actually go and we take the cruise, and we know everyone doesn't want to sit for an hour and watch a video, but they're quick little 5-minute video clips where, you know, if you're interested in the Thimble Island cruise, well, here are a couple other things you can do while you're in the area and make it a day.
Right.
Or an overnight.
You know, people watching the show now, they might not have even realized that they could take a Thimble Island tour, a cruise, and now maybe they'll look it up and kind of discover, hey, that's pretty cool. That's something I might want to do, maybe with the family, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So we are online, and not only that, but you're also very much into social media, which that's another place where you have to be because that's where everybody is nowadays, right?
Yes, social media has been a great tool for us to connect with people on the go. Like you said, everyone's pulling up info on their phone. We are on Facebook. And actually, every Thursday afternoon, we do a Facebook giveaway. Great prizes are on there, and all you have to do is be the first one to answer a trivia question.
Boom.
But we give away theater tickets, overnight stays, tickets to attractions. We always try to
Mix
switch
it up a
it
little
up.
bit. Yeah, that's good.
So we do Facebook. We're on Twitter. We try to put out different things. Say you want to do a hot dog eating contest.
Yes, I would.
We'll let you know where you can go do that.
All right.
But yeah, we try to put things out there that appeal to a wide variety of groups.
And you know, social media, like Facebook specifically, is perfect for what you do, tourism, because people use Facebook and they wherever they go, they check in. So that place is, you know, checked in on their Facebook page. They also take pictures wherever they're at, especially all these touristy places. They take pictures and they post them on Facebook and they check in from there. That's
do.
perfect for you.
Yes, and we actually this
They can link
past
to you.
year ran 2 picture photography contests through Pinterest. And we had such a response of people just wanting to share their great pictures from the region. We actually put one of the winners on our cover here.
Oh, that's
that was
very-
one of our
What a
seasonal
beautiful,
winners.
yeah, beautiful
The
sunset.
tobacco fields up near Bradley International Airport. But people do like to share, so we try to incorporate that.
And you know, I've mentioned this before. A website is important to just, you know, for listing information, but it's very static. Social media is very interactive. People talk, they communicate, they share, they help each other out. That's, to me, as equally important, if not more important, than an organization's website, because that's really where all the people are.
Absolutely. And I know when I go somewhere, I want to hear what other people are saying.
Right.
And what real people
Honest reviews
like.
of people, you know, that
Absolutely.
enjoy the same things that you like, right?
Yeah, you know, I may say this is the best place, but I want to hear what someone else thought that went and visited, and maybe they know some insider tips of places to go, and that's really how social media helps us out with that.
You know, we've gone through this whole show and we didn't mention this. The fact that Connecticut is New England, and we've been talking a lot of things, you know, primarily summery things, but what about the fall in Connecticut?
Fall
You know,
is
the
one
foliage.
of our most popular times of the year. And you'd be amazed the phone calls we get from all over the country. You know, I don't want to say we all take for granted the beautiful foliage.
We kind of do, you
But
know.
we're used to it.
Yeah.
You'd
Foliage,
be
that's
amazed.
nothing to us.
People that want to see a maple tree turn colors, or they want to go to a covered bridge, and they want to see the stone walls. It's a big deal to people, and even the international market, they love to come that time of the year, and that's probably one of our most popular season for us.
You know, that's interesting. You know, you talked about, you know, traveling to other states with these conventions to learn about tourism and get people here, but it's not just within the country, is it? You're talking about attracting international people too, right?
Yes, yes. And Connecticut just hosted a convention that was for international tour operators. So they came and met here, and the New England states sold our states to them. And it's amazing how much they just love the product that we have to offer. And what then they do is they go back and they put us in their tour catalogs and bring groups back to us.
It's all about word of mouth and the other forms of advertisement, getting the word out about what you have to offer. It's beautiful, but if people don't know about it, then you know,
Yes.
how do they come to you in the first place?
Yes, and we actually do advertising. We do it digital advertising, and we also do print advertising. So you may not see a lot of the ads that we place because we're placing it outside of this
Right.
region. And we get our guides out along, you know, the major interstates, train stations, AAA offices all around the country. And it really is a nice tool to have to help you plan a trip.
So, you know, I just mentioned fall because I want to bounce around to different times of the year because a lot of the stuff we mentioned, you know, summery stuff. But what about in the winter? Because New England is beautiful in the fall, but in the winter too. Different times of the year, what kinds of different things are there to do?
Yes, well, in the fall and in the spring, a really neat place, and I want to talk about it because it is so different, is in Portland, Connecticut. It's called the Brownstone Exploration and Discovery Park. It's a flooded old brownstone quarry where you can scuba dive, you can wakeboard, you can zip line across the quarry, you can climb up a rock face, you can cliff jump.
Wow.
If you're a daredevil, this is the place to go. You can kayak in there. I wanted to mention that for the warmer weather season. But as you move into the fall, it's a great time to go visit the history we have. Take in the museums, go for a country ride, enjoy. We have vineyards, so many vineyards. The Connecticut Wine Trail is huge, and it's a great time to go, and you can get your passport book and go tour them and get stamped at each one.
Yeah.
And it's a nice way to just take in the beautiful landscape that we have, hiking, biking.
What about the fact that all the architecture is so historic and old and you know, preserved, and the history behind all of that? You
It
know?
is, and you know, until you really go outside of this region, you don't realize there's other parts of the country that is just so new.
It's new, yeah. They're new buildings. Yeah.
And people come here, and the architecture that we have, and the history. We have the oldest state house. You know, it's amazing. The oldest prison we have, the history that we just sit on that, you know, we kind of, again, didn't realize we have. You know, Mark Twain, Harry Beecher Stowe, they called Connecticut home. You know, people that we can really identify with, they just saw Connecticut as their jewel, and you can still visit these homes today.
You know, and like you mentioned, you know, you're encouraging outsiders to come and experience it, but at the same time, there's certainly a lot of Connecticut folks who can learn a whole lot of things that they didn't even know about.
Yes, the New England Air Museum. You know, a lot of people are blown away when they walk in. They can't believe what's in there. If you're interested in steam trains, the Essex Steam Train and Riverboat, our river, that's another
Connecticut River.
great resource we have that, you know, people don't realize how many different cruise options there are. If you're interested in the winter to take an eagle watching cruise, you know, they take place in the Essex area, and they're very educational. If you're looking to kick back and relax during the fall, There's dinner boats that you can take. There's more hands-on cruises where you get binoculars and it's narrated and you're learning as you go along.
You sound very excited when that makes people who are watching get excited for it because you are excited about it too. You're very passionate about it.
I am, and thank goodness, because it makes
Right.
my job very
Otherwise,
easy.
if you were like, you should come and check this place out because it's lovely, But you do a great job.
Oh, thank you. It's an easy sell because we truly have something for everyone, depending on what your interest is. I am confident we can deliver with something here to interest you.
We will take one more break and come right back. I'm Sean Murphy. This is For the Record. Stay with us. Today, Ann Orsini, she's the Executive Director of the Central Regional Tourism District. I'm going to have you give out the website one more time.
Yes, our website is www.centerofct.com.
And since Ann likes phone calls, you can call her too, right?
Yes, please do. Our number is 860-787-9640.
That's our show. You can see this show and many others on our YouTube sites. I am Sean Murphy. We will see you next time. Take care.